In William Golding's Lord of the Flies, Jack Merridew stands as one of the most pivotal and symbolic characters in the novel. As the antagonist and foil to Ralph, Jack represents the descent into savagery, the allure of power, and the primal instincts that emerge when societal structures collapse. His character trajectory, from a disciplined choir leader to a bloodthirsty tyrant, mirrors the novel's broader commentary on the fragility of civilization and the inherent darkness within human nature. Role in the narrative. Jack is introduced as the head of the choristers, marching them onto the island in uniform precision. From the outset, he is associated with authority and structure, though his version of leadership is rooted in control rather than cooperation. When Ralph is elected as the leader, Jack's initial reaction is one of humiliation and suppressed anger. This early moment foreshadows the power struggle that will come to define the central conflict of the novel. Initially, Jack attempts to work within the confines of the group's democratic system. He takes charge of the hunters and is enthusiastic about creating rules. However, as time progresses and the boy's fear of the mythical beast intensifies, Jack begins to distance himself from Ralph's leadership. Frustrated by the failure to maintain order and the unmet desire for dominance, Jack eventually splits from the group, forming his tribe that values hunting, ritual, and obedience to his authority. Jack's role escalates as he draws more boys to his side with promises of protection and food. His tribe indulges in savage rituals, painting their faces and engaging in frenzied dances that climax in the murders of Simon and Piggy. By the end of the novel, Jack has abandoned all semblance of civility, becoming a symbol of unrestrained power and primal instinct. Symbolic significance. Jack's character is deeply symbolic, functioning as the embodiment of unchecked savagery and the darker side of human nature. While Ralph and Piggy represent order, reason, and the ideals of civilization, Jack stands in direct opposition to these values. His descent into barbarism is not just a personal failure, but a commentary on the tenuousness of the social constructs that separate humans from animals. One of the most significant symbols associated with Jack is the painted face. When Jack first paints his face with clay and charcoal, it marks a turning point in his character. The mask liberates him from shame and self-consciousness, allowing him to act on his impulses without restraint. The face paint thus becomes a symbol of the loss of identity and the embrace of savagery. Jack is also tied to the Lord of the Flies itself, the pig's head mounted on a stick, swarming with flies. Though the literal object is placed by Jack's tribe as an offering to the beast, it comes to symbolize the manifestation of evil within the boys. The flies that gather around the head suggest decay and corruption, while the pig's head becomes a grotesque deity of the savagery Jack represents. Broader implications. Jack's character transcends the boundaries of fiction, serving as a vessel for Golding's broader philosophical message. Written in the aftermath of World War II, Lord of the Flies is informed by Golding's experiences and the horrors he witnessed during the war. Jack represents the capacity for evil that resides in all people, especially when societal norms are stripped away. His rise to power reflects how fear, desire for control, and charisma can dismantle order and give rise to tyranny. Jack's use of fear to manipulate others mirrors the tactics of real-world authoritarian figures. He exploits the boy's terror of the beast, positioning himself as the only one who can protect them. This manipulation of fear to gain and maintain power is a key theme in political discourse, making Jack not just a literary villain, but a symbol of fascist leadership and demagoguery. Jack's transformation critiques the romanticized notion of childhood innocence. Golding dismantles the idea that children are inherently good and that evil is a learned behavior. Instead, through Jack, he suggests that the capacity for violence and cruelty is innate. This challenges Enlightenment ideas about human nature, aligning more closely with a Hobbesian view that life without structure is nasty, brutish, and short. Jack's antagonistic relationship with Ralph is crucial to the novel's structure. While Ralph champions democracy, cooperation, and long-term survival, symbolized by the signal fire, Jack is consumed by the pursuit of immediate gratification, hunting, and the thrill of dominance. Their opposing values generate constant tension, highlighting the novel's central themes: order versus chaos, reason versus instinct, and civilization versus savagery. Jack's dynamic with Piggy further reinforces his rejection of intellect and rationality. Piggy, with his glasses and constant appeals to logic, is an emblem of an enlightened society. Jack, who despises Piggy's physical weakness and intellectual demeanor, mocks him and ultimately contributes to his death. This act can be read as a symbolic destruction of reason and moral conscience. Simon's death, though not directly caused by Jack, is another consequence of the tribal savagery Jack incites. The frenzied ritual dance, fueled by Jack's leadership, leads to a collective act of violence in which Simon is mistaken for the beast and is brutally killed. Here, Jack's influence is shown to have corroded the boy's sense of individual responsibility and moral judgment. Conclusion. In Lord of the Flies, Jack is more than just a character. He is a powerful symbol of humanity's darkest instincts. His arc from disciplined choir leader to savage chief illustrates the ease with which civilization can unravel and how quickly primal urges can surface in the absence of social order. Through Jack, Golding explores complex themes of power, fear, identity, and the nature of evil. As a literary figure, Jack forces readers to confront uncomfortable truths about human nature and the thin veneer that separates order from chaos. His presence in the novel is both terrifying and illuminating, making him one of the most memorable and significant characters in 20th century literature.